Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Richie Scott. We're back with another video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell button so you don't miss a single drip drop of the videos that we got going on right here. And today we're going to be breaking down what happened on the Real Housewives of Potomac when the ladies hit the Cayman Islands. It was full of drama, it was full of craziness, and it was full of some truth bombs. But let's get into it, shall we? We see the ladies all preparing to go to the Cayman Islands. We learned that Monique will not be going on the trip because she is doggone near close to dropping the baby and she cannot be traveling per her doctor's orders. So we get the rest of the ladies plus Katie actually going on the trip, which I'm excited about. We also learned that Robyn is expecting an apology from Gizelle with regards to confronting Monique at her open house. Now, to me, I feel like if she's expecting an apology from Gizelle, she's probably maybe not knowing her friend very well because Gizelle typically doesn't apologize unless prompted, okay? So even then, we don't necessarily know if it's going to be a genuine apology or not because Gizelle is interested in the drama, okay? She is very invested in the drama of it all and we see it all up and through this episode. Now, Ashley, we learned, is fuming. She's learned all about everything that Katie's been saying about her, everything that Katie and Jacob, who was Katie's at the time boyfriend, had to say about Michael with Michael reaching out to Jacob, and then with regards to Ashley being stupid, is what I think Katie actually called her in the episode a couple of weeks prior at Robyn's lipstick party. Monique is going to the chiropractor. I used to get that done, adjustments done all the time on my back, on my neck, and it was always a nightmare every time I went because as you're laying on the table, you're just thinking to yourself, you better not break my neck on my back. That's all I remember thinking. I don't get them too much anymore, but I think it's kudos to Monique for actually showing this process because I mean it's something that's really healthy for people and people should do it. There is that. We also learned that it was Monique and Ashley that told Karen about Gizelle making disrespectful comments about Karen while Karen was on Instagram Live way back when the ladies were in New Orleans. To me, this whole situation was a bit of a reach because all of this happened like at least 2 to 3 months ago in terms of the time of filming, and I really didn't even see a need to be that mad about it. But you know, the way people spread information in this group, it would almost be like the person said it yesterday, the way it's communicated. So I felt like that was a little bit messy to actually bring it up again, but Karen's mad about it and it just seems to come out of the blue to me because it seemed like if that was an issue, it would have came up at the open house as well. And I just felt like, why are we reaching for this issue right now? That's just my feelings. We also learned from Robyn during one of her confessionals that Katie has been going through a lot of issues dealing with the custody of her kids. That's something that she and I also touched on lightly because she let us know that she was in an abusive situation. This is back when I interviewed her when I was on Daily Flash. We actually talked a little bit about this then, and she has done a lot to raise awareness about this subject. And she's really doing a good job of trying to tell her story and get her story out there. So you guys make sure you follow her on Instagram and Twitter as well. Robyn. Let's talk Robyn. Let's talk Miss Robyn because people like Robyn irk me a little bit. Now y'all, I love me some Robyn, but this is what irks me. People who are habitually late. It just burns my buttons, man. It's like, especially if you're late enough to miss a flight. Because really nobody wants to leave you behind. But at the end of the day, you gotta have respect enough for people's time in order to figure out like, yo, like, okay, if you're coming from Bmore and your flight is at DCA, which is gonna be at least an hour's drive or more, then your car should not be leaving at 6 a.m. and your flight is at 8 a.m. Your flight, you should be on the road at 4 a.m. well before anybody else so that you can make it there within the time frame that you need to be in order to get on the flight, which most people know is at least 2 hours ahead of time so that you can actually make it. And if you're going to be the one that's hosting this trip, you're going to need to get there early, and you're going to have to start taking some accountability for yourself, because at this point, you're an adult. Bottom line. But she's habitually late. Now, she said, I think it was during the after show, that when she saw the call sheet for her time for her pickup, it said 6 a.m. She felt like, she said in her thing, she said she didn't take responsibility and speak up to say to production, no, my car needs to be here earlier. So she let that slip. So listen, at that point, production could have been like, okay, well, we're just gonna set her up, and if she's not gonna pay attention to it, then we're just gonna let it go, and she just have to miss that flight. But apparently she missed 2 flights because she didn't even catch the second one that she was supposed to make in order to get down to the Cayman Islands. We learned that from Ashley much later on during the after show. So that's crazy too. Now, I'm here for Katie's wig. I'm here for it. To me, Katie is like a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, I love the fact that she just does not take this stuff so seriously. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of the reasons why we love Real Housewives of New York, because she reminds me of like a Sonia Morgan, in the sense that Sonia is really beloved by a lot of the fans, but she also doesn't take herself so seriously. So we get to see some realness and some comedic quirks and whatnot. And Katie gave us a lot of them in this episode. Now, when they get to the actual hotel, we learn that Robyn has chosen for Ashley to stay with her in the grand suite, and not Gizelle, her typical bestie, because Robyn is still a little bit pissed at Gizelle because she has not gotten an apology for kind of ruining her open house. Now, she also put Ashley in charge after Gizelle promoted herself to hostess, which was also kind of like a little bit of a smack in the face as well. Then Robyn had the nerve to put Gizelle and Karen in the same room. Now, I ain't seen them film a scene together by themselves in a hot minute this season. So it's interesting that she put them together, but I think if she was hoping for them to be able to work out their issues, it was a smart play. And from a production standpoint, it would have been nice. That is until Candiace began to stir the potterization a little bit and bring up the fact that they still had issues that they needed to work on. And all of a sudden, this massive fight, like it just explodes between Gizelle and Karen in the lobby of the hotel. And I was kind of wondering where this fight came from, because I still don't really understand the issue that much. Giselle said some stuff about Karen being lying about grieving about her parents when she was on Instagram Live in New Orleans. I'm just, this whole situation is beyond me, because I just don't understand why we're fighting about something that happened 2 months ago. But it is what it is. They got into a massive debate. In this situation, I'm gonna have to side with Team Karen. Y'all know I love me some Gizelle, but I'm a little Team Karen, because I kind of feel like, who cares if Karen did not want to come out and she wanted to hop on Instagram Live? I get it from Giselle's perspective. It's kind of like, why are you on Instagram Live but you're not hanging out with us? But at the end of the day, who cares? And that's what she wants to do. That's what she wants to do. Like, let this woman live. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. She didn't say anything about you. She didn't do anything to you. So let it go, Elsa. Let it go. Candiace manages to calm everybody down by reminding them that the white folks are staring, which I thought was hilarious. And so the situation dissipates and they just decide to move on. Fine. Now, Gizelle instigated the whole Ashley and Katie disagreement, and she continued to add fuel to it. This is where I did not like Gizelle this episode. I didn't like her actions in this episode. I just thought that it was kind of cruddy, because I felt as though the women all knew that Katie was going through a pretty rough time. Now, I get that she still needs to be interactive with the group and she's still part of the mess. I get that. But I just felt like at every turn, I felt like Gizelle was pouring fuel onto Ashley's fire to make it worse, so that by the time Ashley actually confronted Katie, she was on 1,000, okay? And I felt like, listen, the whole argument about how the restaurant got sold is really irrelevant because at the end of the day, Ashley, you either sold it or something is going on with the restaurant. You ain't got it no more. Bottom line, you don't have it. Who cares? Just like Katie said, nobody was going to Oz anyway, so let it go. Just let it go. I felt like this whole argument with Ashley and Katie, to me, I felt like, here are several points that I'm going to make. For me, Katie was in the right in so many regards. One, she said that everybody else was talking about Michael, and she did too. Okay, fine. So that means that Robyn and Gizelle were also talking about Michael being gay as well. So the reason why I say that is because Ashley is placing all the blame on Katie, but Katie basically chimed in and added some additional information. Yes, she did. But honestly, everybody else has been talking about her marriage anyway. And it was nothing new. None of this is new conversation for Ashley. Now, Ashley is chiming on about her opening up to Katie in some way, shape, or form. What I want to know is what she opened up to her about that she felt like Katie betrayed her, because Katie didn't betray her no more than Gizelle or Robyn did. So I don't really get this whole argument at all. And I feel like I was very excited for Katie that she basically came out and said, listen, everybody else has been talking about it. You're just choosing to go in on me about it for whatever reason, because she's not going to go up against Gizelle and she's not going to go up against Robyn because she wants to have them in her corner. Now, another thing that Katie was right about is, girl, you don't actually know who your friends are. Gizelle is not really your friend. Gizelle is here for the mess, and the mess only, Ashley. So all Gizelle is doing is adding fuel to the fire. Ashley doesn't necessarily even realize that. So I don't understand why she don't see that. But y'all let me know, am I wrong for this? I just don't get it. My favorite line from Katie tonight was, just because you weren't there doesn't mean it was behind your back. I had to chuckle over that one. I really had to chuckle over that one. So Robyn finally arrived. She looks great or whatever, but she had already missed all day and a whole day of fighting. So essentially, Katie then, after dinner, apologizes to Ashley for calling her dumb and says that maybe she just meant stupid. And then Ashley drops the worst bomb of all when she says to Katie that you are not mentally strong enough to hang out with this group of women. I felt like that was one of the most degrading things that she could have said to Katie, because Katie was basically talking about Michael, and I get it, that's her husband, but I felt like to say that in the midst of what Katie was going through on the show, really wasn't here for it. I was happy that Karen stood up for her, but I was also here for everything that Katie said next. If you don't want to be my friend, if you want to diss me because I'm going through X, Y, and Z, then F you. I was here for that 100%. And for me, I just had to tell y'all, I was team Katie on this argument all day long. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. That's my assessment of this week's episode. Y'all let me know down below what y'all think. And guess what, guys? We're going to be hearing from Katie herself what she thinks about everything that went on this week. So look out for that interview. It's coming soon. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button because you don't want to miss a single bit of what we got going on here on this channel. And we will see you guys in the next video.